Hi, you guys. So, I want y'all to watch this video. I saw this on Sunday, and I shared it with a sister. And I also heard, I feel like I heard Pastor Tim talk about the sleeper cells this morning. I haven't finished watching his Upworld update for today. And also with the video that I mirrored from Central Banker this morning about defunding the New York police. When I heard him say that, it reminded me of this video. So I'm gonna mirror it. I'm gonna let you guys listen to it. Boy, it's interesting. Okay, this first part is like 2 minutes, and then he goes on. I'll let you guys be the judge of it. Okay. And let the whole video play. I'll leave the link below, and I'll leave the two other links below, and you'll see how they all intertwine with each other. Okay, you guys?
I've been in Chicago where a person came into my house and knocked on the door to come and get me early in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, and said, come with me, man. It's a crate of guns in the alley. And I got up and ran out there, and sure enough, there was a crate of guns. And during that time when we in it, you're not thinking about where did the guns just come from. You know, you never think about that type of stuff, like where did the guns come from and why are they here? But now that I'm older, I can kind of tell you that it's a diabolical plot. Nothing is stopped. The guns are still there. The guns are still being placed in these different strategic communities. It's a plan. It's not out in Bridgeview. It's not out in, Westmount. They're putting it in the hundreds for sure. People are wondering why so much violence. Think about it. You think about this. Okay, the police are locking people up constantly in Chicago every single day. They're taking guns off the street every single day, every day. So how is it that all of these guns just keep appearing? Where are all the guns coming from? We can't make an excuse, but I want you to look at the bigger picture. Where are they getting the guns from? It's not one or two areas. It's not one or two areas. It's everywhere. In the urban community is what I'm telling you. They're not dropping them out there in Hillcrest. They're not gonna be out there. You check in them hundreds. You check on the low end. You check in the heart of the city, in the inner city. That's where they're dropping all the guns at. That's where all the killings is happening at. That's why a lot of innocent people are getting shot, stuff like that. Because of these guns. They got guns that they can't control. They shooting these guns, letting off, man, 100 shots, man, in 30 seconds. These guns are not being bought. They don't have no gun license to buy these guns. So where are they getting the guns from? That's the question. I'm telling you right now. They've been dropping the guns off in crates for years. They've been doing it. I've seen it twice in my lifetime. I seen it in 1990, and then I seen it again in 1999. I seen it with my own eyes. You can believe it or not, but that's the honest to God truth. I went out, I seen the guns in the crate myself, and it went out through the whole area. Everybody got this one, grab that one. Let me get that one. I grabbed it. Everybody got it. And that's what they keep doing. That's how the guns keep getting on the streets. That's why the wars don't stop. You see what I'm saying? That's the part that people got to focus on.
It's hard to miss it if you live in New York City. A nightly routine of fireworks, illegal fireworks, explosions into the night. The other night I literally jumped when some of them went off in my neighborhood. I thought it was gunfire. So who's doing this and why? And is anyone trying to stop it? Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger looking at those questions and trying to find answers.
May not feel there's much to celebrate these days, but out in the open all night, every night, illegal fireworks seem to be everywhere. This was the scene at a subway stop near Prospect Park and in quiet neighborhoods across Brooklyn.
Have you been hearing fireworks in your neighborhood for the past couple of weeks? These fireworks are very expensive and they end up in the hands of urban youth. There seems to be an endless supply of them. And it's not just in one city, but just about every city in the United States. One person on Twitter who lives in Canada says she hears it in her Canadian city almost every night as well. This can be known, if it's true, as an international event now. Not just a national event, but international, if it's happened in Canada as well. One of the main effects of this fireworks phenomenon is people complaining that they can't sleep at night as a result of these fireworks going off every single night. But what's funny is how they, the powers that be, are able to get so many urban youths in different cities in different parts of the country to work in unison, uninterrupted, in terrorizing the American people. Did you notice during and right before the COVID-19 pandemic, many cities began releasing prisoners, especially in New York, into the public? Many of these prisoners are under mind control. They're programmed, especially during the juvenile stage of their incarceration. You have to understand, most crimes are manufactured. If there's not enough crime taking place in certain areas of the United States, the government has to manufacture it. Whether it's a virtual crime, a crime that doesn't exist, they just say, like a crisis actor type of crime, But it can also be petty crimes, street crimes. For instance, you may have a situation where a guy is out on the sidewalk smoking a cigarette, and all of a sudden somebody just shoots him for no reason. You hear stories in Brooklyn. Three people got shot in a block party or something like that. Or the crime rate jumps for no reason. Like now in New York City or in Chicago, you hear stuff like 60 people shot in Chicago. And, it doesn't make sense. Like 60 people shot, 60 bullets. But you never see a cell phone footage of these people get shot. Now, there are instances where, people do get shot, yeah. But like I said, those criminals who are doing those shootings are under mind control. They're programmed to go out there and kill. After they are programmed, they can be triggered to commit crimes through movies like Batman, The Dark Knight, Joker. They can also be triggered through cell phone apps, such as Uber app, Cash app, and WhatsApp. The urban youth are being triggered to shoot up fireworks every day, all night, every night.
Of terror on Kalamazoo.
I'm not a killer, and this is what I know that I have killed.
You're watching never-before-seen video of Uber driver Jason Dalton being interviewed by police, explaining why he's just gone on a murderous rampage, killing 6 people and severely wounding 2 others because he said his Uber app made him do it.
I know that you guys are going to have a hard time believing this, but it literally took over mind and body.
The Uber app?
Yes. It was red when I first started. Okay. I switched from red to black. Okay. When it's in that black mode, it literally has control of you.
February 20th, 2016, Jason Dalton seemed like any ordinary family man in Kalamazoo, Michigan, a man who had just started to drive for Uber to pick up extra cash for a vacation. But that day, at 4:21 in the afternoon, he starts an 8-hour reign of terror, picking up his first rider of the day, Matt Mellon.
So we saw the interrogation video the driver blaming it on the app, but have investigators been able to figure out anything more about the motive?
They have no idea why he did this, and we're not going to know more at this point because there's not going to be a trial. Jason Dalton this month was sentenced to life in prison without parole. He pleaded guilty, dropped the insanity plea, partly because his mother told him to do it. But I'm pretty convinced that at some point during these interrogation tapes, he was convinced that the Uber app told him to do something. I think he believed it.
Just crazy. Matt,
So you must be asking yourself, why are they doing this to the public? Why are they constantly barraging us with all of the stress? Once the fireworks stop, something else will take its place. And the reason is because of this. In 1948, George Orwell wrote a book called 1984. And there's a quote from the book that states, quote, "The war is waged by each ruling group against its own subjects. And the object of the war is not to make or prevent conquest of territory, but to keep the structure of society intact." End of quote. That quote is the essence of the entire book. To understand to really understand the book, you have to understand that quote. In the book, there are 3 city-states that are constantly at war with each other: Oceania, Eurasia, and East Asia. Now, these 3 city-states or countries are constantly at war with each other, but they're pretending to be at war. Now, the intent is not to win a battle. It's really the war against the people, not against the nations. The 3 nations I mentioned, were pretending to fight each other, but were only using it as a front to wage war against its citizens. Peace can only be achieved through war. War is the glue that keeps society together. Without war, there is no peace. The stress that you are feeling from COVID-19, the pandemic, the hoax pandemic, the manufactured crime that you have to experience in your neighborhood, the fireworks that you constantly have to endure, are all perpetual. It is a necessary evil. As soon as one ends, another one picks up. The mayor of New York City has no control over the fireworks. That's why you're still hearing it. It's bigger than him. Like I said, if you wanted to stop, you have a better chance going to the United Nations, because we are now transitioning into a one world communist government. This country is on the verge of transforming into communism. And I talked about that in a previous video. One of the videos was taken down by YouTube. But maybe I'll do another video and I'll talk about how this country is moving towards communism. And that has a lot to do with the Black Lives Matter movement. And the recent events that you saw with George Floyd protests, that's all part of the communism. All the statues that were taken down. And one of the necessary steps towards communism is that they have to get rid of all the guns. No one will be allowed to own firearms, and that is one of the reasons why you see states like Texas and Florida are now having an increase in COVID-19 sickness. That's why their numbers are rising. I mean, it's all a hoax. It makes no sense. Like 25 people infected in one day. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. They're just making up numbers. The reason why Florida and Texas and Arizona, soon it'll be Colorado, is an excuse to eventually go after the firearms. But anyway, I wanted to leave you with that, and until next time.
All right, you guys. Looks like a pretty setup for a purge. It was nothing else. Unimaginable. I'll leave all videos below. I do have one more video I want to do as far as the update on the alignment on July 4th. Someone shared with me some information, and I felt like I had a vision of it again on last night. I'll just share some things that I saw with you. That'll probably be about an 8-minute video. Okay?